Hi, everybody. It's December 5th, 2023. It's Spoken World Online, week number 195. And thanks to everybody who participates, and thanks to the Davids and Barnes and Sawa who have kept this thing going for all this time. Sunday was great for poetry. I was at the Howard Zinn Book Fair in the Mission District and reading with the Revolutionary Poets Brigade. We were reading historical revolutionary poems in our own work, and then rushed from there across town to North Beach to Specs, where the International Dada Salon was having their show. I couldn't miss that because I was directed to their show in Paris when I was there in September, which turned out to be a very Dada evening. We were talking, we've been talking about death today and people near us who die. And so the first time that ever happened to me was the death of the fellow whose piece I've been reading these last few weeks. And I'm going to continue that piece. So yeah, being attendant and sitting vigil at Fritz Leiber's deathbed was a profound and very moving experience for me. And anyway, so this is continuing this reading from Lean Times in Lockmar by Fritz Leiber, which I've come to find out this is not a short story, it's a novella, but I'm going to still plow through it till the end, and then I'll go back to reading poems for you. And there's a link to the text in the chat if you want to read back where we were or ahead. And let's see if I can find the text myself here. Oops, that's the wrong link. There it is. Okay, continuing Lean Times in Lockmar. When at last that penultimate evening did arrive, signalized by a final warning sent Pulg by Basharat, the Mauser, who had been hoping all along for some wonderful last-minute inspiration that never came, took what may seem to some a coward's way out, making use of the beggar girl whom he had named Lily Black and certain other of his creatures. He circulated a rumor that the treasury of the temple of Ara was preparing to decamp in a rented black sloop across the inner sea, taking with him all funds and ample valuables, including a set of black pearl crusted altar furnishings, gift of the wife of the high overlord, on which the split had not yet been made with Pulg. He timed the rumor so that it would return to him by unimpeachable channels, just after he had set out for Issek's spot with 4 well-armed bullies. It may be noted in passing that Arath's treasurer actually was in monetary hot waters and really had rented a black sloop, which proved not only that the Mauser used good sound fabric for his fabrications, but also that Baudres had, by landlords and bankers' standards, made a very good choice in selecting Essex Temple to be, whether by chance or by some strange shrewdness, co-dwelling with his senile stubbornness. The Mauser could not divert his whole expeditionary force, for Baudres must be saved from Basharat. However, he was able to split it with the almost certain knowledge that Pulg would consider his action the best strategy available at the moment. 3 of the bullies he sent on with firm instructions to bring Baudres to account, while he himself raced off with minimum guard to intercept the supposedly fleeing and loot-encumbered treasurer. Of course, the Mauser could have made himself part of the Vajra's party, but that would have meant he would have had personally to best Fafford or be bested by him. And while the Mauser wanted to do everything possible for his friend, he wanted to do just a little bit more than that, he thought, for his own security. Some, as we have suggested, may think that in taking this way out, the Gray Mauser was throwing his friend to the wolves. However, it must always be remembered that the Mauser knew Fafford. The three bullies who did not know Fafford, the Mauser had selected them for that reason, were pleased with the turn of events. An independent commission always meant the chance of some brilliant achievement, and so perhaps a promotion. They waited for the first break between services, when there were inevitably considerable passing about and jostling. Then one who had a small axe in his belt went straight for Boadris and his cask, which the holy man also used as altar, draping it for the purpose with the sacred garlic bag. Another drew sword and menaced Fafford, keeping sound distance from and careful watch on the giant. The third, adopting the jesting, rough and ready manner of the master of the show in a bawdy house, spoke ringing warnings to the crowd and kept a reasonably watchful eye on them. The folk of Lochmar are so bound by tradition that it was unthinkable that they would interfere with any activities as legitimate as those of an extortioner. The number one extortioner, too, even in defense of a most favored priest. But there are occasional foreigners and madmen to be dealt with, though in Lochmar, even the madman generally respect the traditions. Okay, come back next week for more. Thank you very much for indulging me.